Connection. We are now live. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been too long since I have been live on Instagram. This is Josh from Julie's Canine Academy. You guys know that. It's kind of a little early. Julie's, Russ, thank you for joining. I had a little bit of something that I was wondering how I was going to share the message, and I said, I'm just going to do a live. So, I will forget my topic if we get to talking, guys. So I'm going to give you the topic right away. And then if I meander, somebody please be responsible for getting me back on track, okay? Because that somebody is usually Julie, and she's not here. So, the topic today. This is an interesting one. This is for trainers, but also anybody who's into dogs and having a right-hand man or gal or companion, as we like to refer to our dogs. There's a difference between a pet and a companion, you know? But that's not my point today. My point is talking about that whiny dog that's trained all the way through all of its commands. It's been through multiple programs. We see these dogs all the time. And I'm convinced that this is just how dogs are. And by the way, these are Julie's glasses, not mine. So the dog knows its commands. It performs the commands, but it's constantly kind of like on edge and has some anxiety, just bubbling beneath the surface. It's there. You can feel it when you're around the dog, you know. And if you're the trainer, you're looking at this and you're like, this doesn't feel like a finished product, because it's not, because state of mind training is going to give you the missing piece to get that dog feeling like they are well balanced in their minds too, because a lot of people forget about the mind. So what I want to talk about today is anticipatory anxiety. And now listen, anticipatory anxiety, I'm not going to say that too many times. When I'm talking about anticipatory anxiety today, so when I say anxiety, that is the type that I'm talking about. And if you don't know what that is, that's okay. Neither did I until somebody had taught me it when I worked in the human services field. Worked with a lot of people with a lot of behavioral issues. And a lot of them got dangerous real quick. And a lot of them had this anticipatory anxiety, meaning they would literally become anxious. And the longer they were anxious, the more anxious they became about an event or something that was going to happen in the future. They were worried about something that might happen, something they might be getting. A lot of the times when I was dealing with these individuals, no different than dogs, they are worried about something. The same type of anxiety you get as a kid if you're really excited about Christmas. You know? You think that's a good thing, but imagine that every day. Okay? So, or it's like you got a birthday party you're going to, and, you know, it's your birthday party, so you're happy about it, but you're also nervous because you're going to be in the center of attention. This type of anxiety. Our dogs get this too, but here's the thing. It doesn't have to be that way. And this is where training is messing up, in my opinion. So pay attention. This is it. We teach our dog, we use anticipatory anxiety to train dogs. Not me. People do. And this is how they do it. They say, if you do these behaviors, you will get a ball and we will play fetch. Say, a German Shepherd's a great example of this because they are more difficult, because they are more reactive generally. And they tend to be whiny, and it seems like they live in this anticipatory anxiety state, right? And then we're going to go and take this dog and say, all your commands, every rep, you're going to get rewarded with something that you love so much that when we start to do duration work and I say down, you're downing, but your mind is really thinking about what? The ball that you get at the end of all this. The problem that we see is that dogs are reactive. Dogs don't know how to relax. Dogs don't know how to just listen to a human just because. Just because. There doesn't need to be a ball. There doesn't even need to be a reward. Dogs don't know how to do that. Not the dogs that we see. And we see troubled dogs. We are in a niche. We're pet dog trainers, which is already a niche. And then we're a niche within a niche. We are pet dog trainers who try to bring pets and make them companions. And usually the dogs we're working with are troubled. They have issues. They're not easy dogs. Our dogs don't carry anticipatory anxiety about their commands because of the way they view the commands. That's what it comes down to. The way they feel about those words that come out of your mouth. I've said this. Guys, I went back and looked at my videos from years ago, back when I wasn't even in this company, and I was back with my old company, and I'm saying the same stuff. Maybe the wording's a little different, but it's the same message. Dogs haven't changed. And I told you, if I get off track, somebody on here is going to keep me accountable, talking about how this anticipatory anxiety is what is like one of the big problems in all of the dogs that we see. Every single one of them has this issue. I whine to go out the door. I'm whining because I'm thinking about food, or I'm whining when I'm in a down because I want to go get the ball reward that I'm going to get in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? This is the big switch in the dog's head. Hi, my name's Josh. Welcome to Julia's Canine Academy. This is how things work here. The end product of our training is the brain of the dog should think about the commands like this. You hear the command? Do it. Because if you don't, there's a correction. And the more times I have to ask, the heavier the correction we'll get. However, you don't need to even get a correction. The good news is you can just listen, right? So our dogs are thinking from the mentality of, in the beginning, they're thinking, okay, the way these commands are taught, everything spells out, listen to these commands. They're no bullshit. There's only 5 of them, and if the humans say do them, do them. Because the humans are going to give you a great life. You're going to be off-leash hiking. You're going to be living the best life possible. You're not going to be locked up in a kennel or in a living room for the next 12 years. You're going to be living as a companion, as a right-hand man or gal. So that means you need to be listening to us so we can go and do things with you. So they take our commands seriously because they're not associated and tied with an instant reward afterwards. So I'm not saying sit, good, go play ball. Good, let's do another rep, right? Or sit, good, feed, right? So the dog sees the commands as like party time. If you teach them, listen, there's different ways to teach. I know, I'm trying to get a point across. But the feelings the dog gets while learning the command, like if you're really playing with getting the dog amped up to get him to do commands, the dog's going to go into that state. The dog's going to associate it with this not so serious kind of game-like thing that he does with you. And then when you try to go use it when you need it, because somebody's at the door and you want to go use place, there's no sense of seriousness. You never taught it. It was never trained into your program. You think so people think that the commands are the big deal, but it's so much more than that. You need to also, a good trainer will also teach the dog how to feel about these commands. Take them seriously. Okay? So that's my message. Dogs already have anxiety. They already have problems with impulse control. Why, at the end of a training program, why would a dog be working for something that's going to give it anxiety while it's working? It makes the entire program unreliable. So, if you see a program that ends, and I'm not talking puppy programs, I'm talking adult programs, the ones that matter. Okay? Puppy programs, that's great. Do your thing. Eventually, when it's time for adult training, put the big boy shoes on. That's what I'm talking about. This type of training needs to create reliable dogs so we can have companions in our life. That's why we get dogs. Adventure with them. Travel across the country, or just have a good life in your living room. Either way, both you and your companion are happy, and nobody is sitting there stressing about the ball that they're going to get when they're done with their sit-stay. Okay? The reward is this. You're interacting with the dog. That's a big reward. Do you know how much time I spend with these dogs here when I'm working with them? The focus I give them is something they've never experienced before. They've never had a human that focused on them that long every time they interact. That's a reward, okay, to just have that level of commitment from somebody. Also, the reward should be what you're doing, right? If we're going on a walk, the reward should be the walk. Why bring food with the walk? Or a ball held underneath your arm so that the dog could heavily focus on that ball the entire time, just getting it more and more driven. And then it loses focus and it sees the dog and all that energy, because, we don't pay attention to the state of mind, boom, reacts to the dog, right? You have to take the ball and wave it in front of the dog's face and try to get it to want the ball more than it wants. All that stuff doesn't have to be. And I know that as a guy who stops that on a daily basis and turns these dogs around, and makes them, and creates a great companion that does not think that way. That's the thing. That's the other thing. The way the dog thinks. If you don't tackle that in your program, then it's just a superficial program that's going to have certain success with easy dogs and fail very consistently with difficult dogs. Okay? So, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you joining in this morning, letting me get that little bit out about creating anxiety or reinforcing anxiety or never actually tackling the problem of anxiety within your program. In fact, you might be reinforcing it and you don't know it. Who knows? Right? So we got to start thinking about these commands as the dog's obligation to listen. This is what he brings to the table. Okay? As far as the relationship. I pay the bills in the house that we live in. You listen to your commands. Okay? And if we both do our part, everything's good. So, but also, you guys know that I'm a dog lover, right? I know that I have to talk like this because I have to advocate and save our community here of dog lovers. I mean, what the heck's going on? I'm a dog lover just like anybody else on here. I mean, I'm not going to say I love dogs more than you because I haven't met you, but I love dogs a lot more than most people I meet, And so, to see the potential of some of these dogs, when you just start going back to reality and thinking don't let politics get in your head and interact with the animal and be there, you start learning things. You start learning a little bit about reality and how things work. And you learn that there's a thing called tough love. And it's very effective. And tough love is when you have to do things as the parent that aren't fun for you. They may not be fun for the child or dog, but they equal progress. They equal some type of benefit that you would not get unless you went down that path of discomfort, whatever it may be, even if it's like grounding a kid. Like, you don't want to see your kid grounded, do you? But they just slapped Jimmy across the street in the face. We can't let that go now, can we? Right? So, what do? Okay? It's no different with your dog. You just got to learn that they don't speak. The way that people talk to dogs when they're trying to communicate with them, when they don't know how to communicate with a dog, full sentences usually don't work so well. So, anyway, guys, I appreciate your time this morning. Just waking up, getting ready to go. 9 o'clock is when we start around here. Potty's already done. Everybody's already been out and stretched their legs. They're waiting for me to get the sleep out of my eyes. That's why I'm wearing Julie's sunglasses, because I was afraid that I looked like crap. Trying to not swear this early in the morning. All right, guys. Catch us on the videos. We got some good stuff coming up. Sparkle. Anybody following Sparkle? Let me tell you something about her. She has been a learning experience for me, of course, in the best possible way. This young lady, if you don't mind, everybody else, if I'm just going to go rant now. My message is out there. But Sparkle, she comes in with neurological issues, which I'd never seen like this before. Shaking. Let's say almost like how you might see somebody with Parkinson's disease. Shaking all the time, can't help it. On top of that, she's excited, so she's wiggling. So she's wiggling, doing this type of shaking, and falling all over the place. She can't sit up, because if she sits up and she looks at me, this issue that she has, she'll literally fall over onto her side. Now, I don't know much about the medical issues that she has. Nobody does, really. What they're told is this is a neurological issue and that it won't go away, and that she's not in pain, and that it doesn't seem to bother her, because she's actually quite a confident young lady. I mean, especially now that we're showing her how to go over the lips or the ledges or thresholds of a door without falling on her face, which is simply just, believe it or not, she's this crazy little dog that gets stuck in a thought process right at the lip or edge of a door, threshold, because she's fell on her face so many times, because she's unstable, she panics. But she's really excited at the same time, so that results in a dog zigzagging back and forth, just never crossing, wanting to crossing, but zigzagging, and then getting stuck in this cycle and actually never going across the door frame. I mean, eventually she does, but it takes forever. So, first thing I did is taught her to calm down. That right there alone was the game changer. Teaching her to go from 10 or 12 on a scale to 10 to 0 or 1 and just hang out in a calmer space. Look at the door. Don't go through the door. Okay, now go through the door. And literally watch her step over a door. The reason why this is important to our community is because the reason I was able to keep her calm enough to actually, or even relay the message that I need her to be calm. Try to do that with an animal that has this dog doesn't know its name, you know what I mean? That kind of dog. How did I get her to understand that shh means relax within minutes? Well, I had to correct her in the way that another dog would correct a dog. There's a ritual, there's a language, there's something I can do to tell her, relax. And it works. I put it on cue, shh, and you see it in those videos. You see that, boom, she knows what that means. This is where this gets very interesting. This dog, by behavioralists and by vets, are told that it's useless. At the very best, let's medicate some of the anxiety, right? I mean, that's what they do. So I take away, I actually disagree with the energy. I say, I don't want you to be like that right now. When I make this noise, the rule is no energy. Just relax, just hold still. And you can do this. This is Cesar Millan. I didn't come up with this stuff. That stuff works if you know how to do it, okay? I was able to teach her how to go through a door frame. And now the byproduct of that, which I didn't see coming, because she's not zigging and zagging back and forth, she's holding herself up in a shaky kind of standing stance, and she's starting to gain muscle in the smaller stabilizer muscles. And you can see that over the course of a week and a half, she's more steady on her feet. She's walking around now like a dog, sniffing. It's insane. So all this progress, and it's been less than it might be coming up on 2 weeks, right? Imagine if you lived with her for a year. If I lived with her for a year and kept working with her and made her my priority. Imagine the things possible for these types of dogs that nobody, I'm telling you right now, people who have degrees, people who are smarter than me. I mean, you hear me talk, guys. I struggle just to get out some of these words. But I know what they mean, and that's the important part. They don't think this is possible. They do not know. They don't believe me because they think because I punished her, it's wrong. That's it. Because I will punish her because there's rules, and if she breaks those rules, she gets punished, which, by the way, she doesn't get punished often because once she just found out the rule, this dog's pretty darn compliant. I mean, she's got her brattiness like dogs do. She's an awesome dog, though. We are able to take away behaviors that cause pain, emotional and physical. And then we're able to give and reinforce new behaviors that are more healthy. We reprogram a dog's response to the environment. That is science, man. That is remarkable. And it works. Listen, there's a bunch of wood around me. I'm going to knock on it because this isn't out of a place it's not from an egotistical standpoint. This isn't just me. There's plenty of trainers that know how to do this type of work. And when I say 100% of dogs benefit from this, I mean 100% of dogs. In my career. And other colleagues that I know, people that I know and that I respect. Oh, yes. And I love, Gary Wilkes is a guy that, he brings the knowledge to a whole new level. And I definitely follow him to keep my head sharp. But yes, she has her issue. It's there. I can't take that away. Just like I can't take away a dog who has extreme prey drive. I can't take away prey drive. I can just hold a dog accountable from switching into that state of mind, and that's all we do. If you learn about state of mind training, you learn that you can actually a dog will start self-regulating keeping themselves from switching into drives. This is real too. And this is the thing that you can't prove. Like, how can I prove to you, other than showing you that I can do it with any dog you put in front of me? Historically speaking, I know there are those guys out there. I just haven't met them yet. But you can stop a dog from going into drive. You can actually not only stop a dog from going into drive, you can have them stop themselves. And then you just then you say, hey, keep stopping yourself. And if I see that you're not stopping yourself, then I'm going to remind you to keep stopping yourself until the dog gets a new reaction, new response to the environment, to the situation. This stuff is insane. But what I want to, the message is that people don't know that this is real. We're just a training company. In the eyes of anybody else, we're just a training company. We're just taking dogs and teaching them sit down, place, recall, and heel. That's it. But they don't actually understand the depth of the type of work that can be done at places like this because they wouldn't give it a chance. Why? It comes down to the culture that we live in right now. You can't punish anything. It's wrong. Even if it gets the problem to go bye-bye and the dog is in a healthier state and is actually, it's no different than surgery. You're going to cut the dog open. Ouch. That hurt. That's a punishment to save its life. I'm playing doctor over here. But there's no appreciation for, other than from the dog owners in the community like you guys who we love, and that's why we try to show you so much love, is because you guys get us and you appreciate us, but the rest of the world doesn't even know we exist, and the ones that do, they don't appreciate us. Like, I'm not going to be on TV. People can't see what I do, you know what I mean? The world's not ready to say no to their dog yet, right? When was the last time you seen Cesar Millan on TV? He got canceled. So, right now, you guys get to see it. You guys get to see it on our page. Hopefully, one day, the rest of the world will catch up because dogs don't have to... I can't train every dog out there. And neither can my colleagues that know what they're doing. There's too many of them. We need this to become public, common knowledge eventually, you know? And appreciate... And then really, people smarter minds than me should come and use this and bring it further and do whatever smart people do with this kind of knowledge. But we have found something here that is quite remarkable. And it works with kids too, because this is just, it's based off from facts. It's just based off from life, from Mother Nature, from what we call science, the proof. So, yes, Phyllis, you know. Phyllis knows. He self-regulates more. Yes. So, you know, we got to keep him, because it's there. It's like that little voice in his head. He's going to hear it, and then it's his choice whether or not he ignores it, right? And so, and that's the prey drive thing, which we see more and more these days, because the types of dogs we see tend to be more and more difficult every year. I mean, the frequency of difficult dogs goes up every year. We used to have a handful of cupcakes in, like, most of our dogs were pretty average dogs, and then there would be a difficult dog there, kind of always. And then there's 2 difficult dogs there. And then it became a kennel room of difficult dogs. And that's just because these dogs need help. And if you know there's help out there, then there you go. But so this is the insanity. So who's responsible for it? I hate to say it, I'm doing all I can. I think it's people who watch videos like this. You talk when the conversation comes up, you know? And we go from the bottom up. We don't try. I don't think the answer is going to be in trying to change, you know, the behavioralists of today or the vets of today. I think it's the common people. We need to learn the knowledge, and then from there, somebody's going to grow up with that knowledge, and it will change. Okay? I'm sorry if I'm silent. I'm reading. Yes. And it's, you know what, Russ, about this? It's so sad because I am so excited about the work that I do here. And I believe in it. I'm a believer in it. And so isn't Julie, so isn't everybody involved. And we're just trying to get better at it. But there's so many smart minds out there that would really make this accessible for everybody. They would figure stuff out that I could never figure out. But they're looking in another direction, you know? And it's like, it's kind of frustrating, but because I just want to scream to the world. I just want to get a Netflix series and show everybody, hey, look at this Look at this here, man. Look at how this dog came in, and look where it is 3 weeks later. And I mean, maybe we'll do even longer. But yes, the world wouldn't appreciate it because they would see it as abuse. Because even the word no in some people's minds is abusive. Like, seriously, the verbal. Okay? It's getting a little crazy. So now is not the time to try and you know. But on our channel, we will share what we do, and we will continue to get this process smoother and continue to educate each other like we do and do our best. And every year we get better, and hopefully the world will catch up, and we can then show it on a larger platform. Or if not us, somebody does eventually, because so many problems in households today result from not understanding the stuff with their kids and dogs. And then the kids grow up and they don't understand how to discipline their kids, so then it just keeps going. Yeah, I know. It's yeah, I'm responding to people give you compliment but then judge you for the tools, and it's true, but and I get that. Oh yeah, you know what? These are Julie's, so I couldn't find mine. These are Julie shades. They're really cool. I like them too. They put me in a good mood. So, what I seriously want one. I was kind of joking about the Netflix series thing. I'm actually glad that you asked me if I'm serious, because so there's big cons to doing that kind of stuff, and I'm not interested in the spotlight, to be honest with you, like that. But I do want the message to get out there. I do want people to see what it takes to change a dog. I want to share it. I want somebody to do it. Let's say that. I haven't considered it like seriously. It's just a joke, but we do joke about the Netflix series thing, you know. It's like, well, what if we just did one season, got everything out there, and then see how it did? But you know, it's not a serious talk because it's way too much of a commitment, and we are doing the work right now. We're still being effective in our community. But yeah, it would be nice. I wish somebody would do it. Yeah, I would watch it. I used to watch all the Cesar Millan stuff. I watched that stuff so much, studied that so much when I first started. So I think I'm gonna go and get some breakfast, because I've been bad about breakfast lately. I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get the day started. We got some training to do today. There's a lot to do, and I appreciate you guys letting me get my message out there. It makes me feel better, because I feel great because of it. Otherwise, it would have been in my head all day. Now that it's out, I'm good. Okay? So I appreciate you guys. We will see you on the videos. Thank you for all the love, as always. You guys are fantastic. And if you guys ever need anything, you know, all you got to do is message us. Okay, guys. See you on the next one.